Let's see if I can use the alarm here. On. Oh, Jesus! Oh my god, I wasn't expecting Shadow Body there. On. Shoot. Hey there, and welcome back to Freddy and the Gang 2, the second demo that just released, I think, yesterday. Now, a bit of a different case with this one because usually I don't cover additional demos. At least, you know, very rarely I do. It depends on how long it's been since the first demo, right? And if there's been a lot of changes, because for one, I kind of like to reserve as much of the experience as I can for when the full game comes out. And obviously, if nothing much changes between the first and second demo, then there's not really a need for me to try the game again. However, it seems like quite a bit has changed in the game regarding gameplay, visuals. In the developer's own words, this demo features a complete visual overhaul, updated mechanics, and multiple new characters to fend against. So, I figured, you know what, honestly, this seems like a good chance to at least see what has changed, especially if, you know, so much has changed to the point that what we saw in the initial demo won't really be reflected in the full experience. So we're gonna hop right in once again. There is another game that had a new demo drop that I haven't played in over 2 years, and I will be covering that for sure. I guess that's one reason. That's one thing I want to address. If Balloon Boy approaches, use the flash beacon. That's new. Bonnie approaches, shut off noise. Chica approaches, shut off light. Pretty self-explanatory. Here we shut off the light. Of course, we also have the music box. So not only do we keep it on, but we can crank it, interestingly enough. And now, instead of actually always seeing inside that room, we have to use like this controlled shock or the light. And I can choose to have this light on or off. Interesting. Now, hold on a minute. No one there. Now, how do I actually... There we go. Turn this on. Alright, let's go onto CCTV here. 5 cameras, like usual. Let's see. Okay, that... was that always there? I don't quite know. Nothing over here. Hold on. Okay, that's clear. There's also a vent there. Was that always there? I'm not too sure. Let's see. This side is clear. We can use the alarm to lure animatronics. Okay, there's Chica. Hold on. Let's look. Uh-oh, Balloon Boy. I have to flash Balloon Boy, so I guess it's with this, right? On. Alright, there's Balloon Boy. Creepily standing off to the side there. Let's see if I can use the alarm here. On. Oh, Jesus! Oh my god, I wasn't expecting Shadow Body there. Oh, jeez. That got me good. Okay. Balloon Boy's still there. Hold on. This is starting to wind down. Before... Wait a minute. Wait, okay, first off, the box is open. And I can't wind it. Why can't I wind it? Uh-oh. I think I'm screwed. Come on. Balloon Boy's right there. Bye-bye. How are you supposed to wind this? I was winding it before, but it won't let me wind it anymore. Oh. Wait. There's Chica. Oh, I don't know why it won't let me wind it anymore. Can I just leave? Just make a... I just barely survived. Or is it because I... Oh no, that's right. I completely forgot that in this game you can choose to leave early if you want. I completely forgot about that. Alright, we're gonna basically try again. We already saw what the post-shift section looks like with that arcade game. So I really want to kind of like focus on the different stuff here. For some reason I couldn't wind this. You're supposed to just click here and then it'll wind. But it wasn't letting me after a while. And so it was like kind of like inevitable just letting it go, I guess. Which was weird. Now I think the main criticism I had with the first demo was that on camera it's kind of difficult in some areas to see them. Right? Specifically I think this camera I think is fine. I think there was like one camera here where they had like a position in this little corner that was difficult to see. And I think it's mainly these two storage cameras where things get a little tricky. There's Bonnie. And there's Chica, I think, right? So they're both starting off here, that's fine. I think that was like my main takeaway after the demo. Now let's see, they both left. Okay, let's see if I just ring the alarm here. Okay, so I rang the alarm here, but no indication of anything. Lot on. Oh, Balloon Boy's sneaking up. On. There we go. Get rid of him. I'm not sure what triggers a puppet. Like, when does it start opening the box, but I'd like to be careful there. Chica was not lured by this whatsoever. Let's see if I can lure Chica here. Alright. The alarm didn't seem to attract anyone. The only thing that's tricky about this is that if you don't, okay, there's Bonnie. Actually, let me see if I can use the alarm here. I have to be careful because there's Balloon Boy. I lost track of Chica somewhere. Let me wind this up. That's fine, that's second phase for Balloon Boy. Did I lure Bonnie here? No, but Chica's there, so I know where she is now. Where's Bonnie? Okay, I think Bonnie might be in that corridor now. Hold on. Shoot. I forgot sounds. Oh my god, I forgot which one was Bonnie there. They snuck up way faster than I thought they would. I think that's probably like the one thing that I have to try and like get better at, keeping track of them. And I think like the what's it called? The static does play a part in that on the cameras. But let's see, all sources of noise. So that's pretty much this and the computer. I mean, I guess the thing that's a little weird, I think, is the alarms, because the alarms aren't guaranteed to lure animatronics, right? Or because I had the alarm here while Bonnie was on this camera, but it clearly didn't lure them. Was it because it was just too late? Not too sure. I don't know what the real limit is when it comes to luring animatronics. There's bound to be one, I just don't know what it is. Like, right now, let's use the alarm here, because Bonnie is right here, right? Okay, Bonnie's there. Let's see if it lures Bonnie over to the left side. Okay, they move. Are they here now? No, they're not here at all. They might be here. Let's see. Not here. See, like, where did they go? They ended up going the hallway, so that's kind of... Is it like scraping its way here? Okay, turn around, shut this off, and shut this off. Remember, shut off all sound sources of light. Okay. Okay, I didn't have to do that. I think that was new. I don't think I noticed that sound in the first demo. Alright, we know a Balloon Boy's there. Let's wait. There we go. Chica's also there. Remember, light for Chica. Now if I could find Bonnie, or actually let me try and lure them here. Chica is still there. Let's wind this up. Not yet. There's Bonnie. Lady alarm here. Oh, that's right. You're not supposed to use the light in the hallway for her. I completely forgot about that too. I think like that's the part that for me is tricky, right? You can't keep track of their position in the hallway with any cameras. You have to kind of use your intuition a little bit there. I mean, at least with Bonnie, you have a sound cue, like a constant sound. I don't know if it's always there though, so it's not something I think you can rely on completely. But Balloon Boy has their laughter, which doesn't always play again. I mean, I think you mainly only get to notice the sound cues when you're not on the computer. But then for Chica's a tricky one because you can't really use the flash on her and you can't really see where she's at yet. But see, like right now, I'm gonna try, like Bonnie is right here right now. I'm gonna try and use the lure. Okay, did it lure them? I see Chica. Is that Bonnie? I'm not sure. I'm looking down here. I'm not seeing anything there either. Oh, it was. Their figure just went away. Alright, there's Balloon Boy. Okay, so Bonnie is... Okay, hold on. So Bonnie just left here. You're there. I'm actually curious. Wait. Okay, you're there now. Okay, Chica and Bonnie are here. One thing I know for sure is that you can't lure them here. Like, so if, I don't think... Where can you lure them? From... Like, okay, so like, for example, they're both at the top here, right? Can I lure them back down here? Is that possible? Because they're so far away now. Okay, so Chica's gone. Bonnie's gone. This is the only logical conclusion left. So, realistically, I'd want to play the alarm right below them. Let's see if that lures them. No luck. Chica's over there. Bonnie's gone. I'm gonna leave this playing because it's near a doorway. Where'd they go? See, Chica's still there. There has to be... I don't remember if who the lure does and doesn't work for. I think I saw Bonnie in the background. Okay. After playing the alarm for a while, there goes Balloon Boy. See, now you got closer, so it I don't know if we would count that as working. Okay, shut off all... Nope, shut off sounds. See, this time, there's no creaks or anything. Okay, we know Chica's there. Calm down. Okay. Now I know I don't have to worry about that until... For a while. For a while, I don't have to worry about that. Honestly, at this point, just shut off the light. Hopefully this light doesn't matter. Okay, they should have gone. There we go. So those sounds are not, aren't always gonna happen, but they're very helpful. Especially like they help let you know when they're getting closer. I think the alarm is still something that needs to be maybe explained a bit better in terms of like how it can be effective, because I'm not noticing it work 100% of the time. So it makes me wonder, like, is it just like a potential tool? Like, is this something that may work but is not guaranteed? That second phase. Hold on. Let's wait. Okay. That's fine. Already there, huh? Or maybe that just means we left. So now Bonnie's there. I don't know about Chica. No visual yet. Okay, there's Chica. So can I lure her down here? Let's see if we can try and lure her down here. What the hell? When? Shoot. No, wait, no. Shut off the light. Again, like, I think I just wasn't paying attention to where they were. I think I was fixated on Chica. Okay. Oh, it's time. We can leave. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I think that's really some of the that's still some of the tricky stuff, I think, gameplay wise, that I have to try and figure out. So in this case, we're not gonna play the game. I assume this means that we're just gonna get brought over, right? So no thanks. And then of course take us back here. I am curious because the way that they structure it, they basically say, yes, you can leave early. Technically, you can fast track through the game by leaving as early as possible, but it means you won't play the mini games, and so, or the post shift sections. So I wonder if that's gonna affect like your endings in a way, right? Will you get, you know, a better ending for sticking it through to the end as long as possible and playing more mini games, or, you know, by actually staying longer, buying into those post shift sections? Obviously, time will tell on that front. But with regards to the gameplay, I think like the main things, as I said already, right, main takeaways are like just the static, I think, just needs to be like the visibility for the animatronics needs to improve a little bit. I don't think I noticed as much of like tricky spots this time around, but given I didn't play for that long, so it's, you know, unsure. But I think at least so far for this time around, you know, for the most part, I was able to see all the animatronics when, you know, in their proper spots and whatnot. But I think it's like that's just like the one thing that probably could still be improved on a little bit more. Assuming there are any other use cases or any other situations where they may have some cheeky spots. I don't know if they have any other cheeky spots where you can't see them as well, but if there are, you know, I guess like again, static wise could probably be, you know, improved a bit more if anything, just in case. And I guess just like a better, I think maybe I'm just not getting the lore system enough, because I'm not getting the use out of it, like at least in the way that I would usually think of it, right? When presented with the lore system, obviously you might think, oh, it'll always work, it'll always drag them. But obviously in a game like this, that may not be how it's intended. Maybe the lore system is more like, you know, you can use the lore system, right? Play the alarm, and maybe it'll pull the animatronics away, but it's not guaranteed. And I think the idea behind that may be to try and like separate Bonnie and Chica so you don't have to deal with both of them at the same time. But again, I think that's something we'll probably learn more about as we get to the full game, because it seems so far like the lore is more like a bit of an assist, but not something you want to rely on completely when going in the game, right? If the alarm doesn't lure the animatronics, it's not like, okay, I'm screwed, right? At least it doesn't seem like that so far. And at least based on what I noticed, we have a vent in our office. I'm curious as to what that's going to be like for a character mechanic, because I assume there's going to be a character that starts making noises in the vents, and then we'll have to either shut off the lights or shut off the music, because the music's what lured the character into the vent in the first place. Obviously we have that room behind us that we can now shut the light on and off and do a controlled shock. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go, along with the additional post-shift sections that we'll definitely get at the later nights when the full game comes out. But overall, it does look better from a gameplay standpoint. You know, we're still trying to figure things out. Visually, it does look better regarding the animatronics, and they have some good jump scare moments there for sure, like Shadow Bonnie. That's new as well. And of course, we're actually starting to get a glimpse of the puppet. Actually, just one thing I didn't even mention, like it just clicked for me, Chica's jump scare was changed, right? Because at first I think Chica just showed up in front of you, but this time, you know, in the first demo, Chica just shows up in front of you, jump scare, you know, classic, right? What you'd pretty much expect. But this time around, she actually dives into you, so you don't really see her face like in the same way or anything. Like they changed the jump scare animation. But regardless of all that said, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, hit that notification bell to keep up to date on future videos. The game will be in the description below as always, and with that said, I'll see you in another video. Take care.